And hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. So today I want to discuss halal restaurants and of course their resurgence in the UK food industry. I'm from London personally. From North London, and of course with the growing Muslim population across where I was born, you do see a lot more Muslim focused restaurants and eateries. Therefore they of course are halal meat. Now we can discuss till the sun goes down about the ethics behind how they kill animals when it comes to halal meat. Of course, if you don't know, they basically cut the throat and drain the blood from the animal and then use the meat that way. But there's a massive groundbreaking story that was released, I think a few days ago. I come across it today about this halal meat restaurant basically being closed down due to the guys that were running it selling out-of-date meat that wasn't fit for human consumption. And in fact, you probably wouldn't even give it to your pet dog. So I'll run down quickly the story, and then I'm going to show you the video that I found on X earlier where this lady basically describes the whole situation in very good detail in a very short video. So yeah, 2 men have been jailed after it emerged they were selling meat meant for pets, and they were basically selling it as human grade products. The court heard how one man operating out of a disgustingly filthy South London shop processed nearly 2 tons of animal byproducts, including whole chickens, lamb's testicles, and beef burgers, mindlessly sending them into the food chain. Now, the court basically ruled that this wasn't a mistake, it was a cold, calculated conspiracy driven by greed and carried out by those who we trust with our food safety. So yeah, a very disturbing story coming out today. And it does make you wonder, a lot of these people that run these restaurants, can they be trusted? Well, what are their backgrounds? What are their intentions with the food they're selling to you? But let's not work on conspiracies here. Let's get some more facts. Let's watch the video that I watched earlier, which basically inspired me to make this video for you today. So have a watch of this.
2 men have now been jailed for their roles in a startling conspiracy, selling meat originally meant for pet food, yes, including lamb's testicles, to unsuspecting customers. At the center of the scheme was 63-year-old Anthony Fear, who ran a company that supplied meat not fit for human consumption. He sold it to 40-year-old Azar Ishrad, who operated a cutting room down in South London. What was happening? Well, meat that should have been tossed out or used for pets, things like whole chickens and yes, those lamb's testicles, was instead being prepared as if it were normal meat for people to buy and eat. Back in 2020, residents living near a shop on Walworth Road, that's in SE17, started complaining about a terrible smell of rotting meat coming from what they called a disgustingly...
Yeah, very disgusting story there. The 2 guys have been jailed. One got 42 months in prison and the other guy got 35 months, as well, of course, as certain restrictions when it comes to the future of opening food establishments. I mean, hopefully those restrictions are the fact that they can never open a restaurant or an eatery ever again. But it's worth noting as well that the restaurant initially was rated 1 star on the food hygiene rating. Now, me personally, I wouldn't really trust a place with a 1-star food hygiene rating, but at the same time, that has passed the legal checks to still be open and running. So you've got to kind of look at who's doing these checks. Why was it still passed as, fit to be open to the public, when of course it shouldn't have been. But yeah, I wouldn't really trust a 1-star food hygiene rating place anyway. I mean, 4 is probably the lowest I'd actually go. But I want to show you some images from the food store when it got raided by the police, of course, when they shut it down initially. And I'll give you a little warning because the images are pretty disgusting of the food that you'll see. So yeah, have a look at this quickly. So we have the chicken in the boxes here. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks a bit disgusting, of course, that they're all piled on top of each other. But my biggest concern there is it doesn't really look like it's a refrigerator or a freezer. It looks like it's sat at room temperature, just rotting away. And then, of course, you see the one on the left there with the moldy meat. And you actually kind of look at it. It looks like a head of a lamb, which is very disgusting, very disturbing. You can literally see the eyes a little bit. So yeah, not very nice. But I've had to see it, so now you guys have had to see it as well, because it is disgusting. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, of course, I mentioned I'm from London. We have many of these halal restaurants. I don't choose to eat at them personally. I got nothing wrong with them being there. I mean, of course, you can talk about the ethics of, these restaurants for whatever reason. I mean, I personally wouldn't go there. But when you see things like this, see stories like this, you got to be a little bit concerned, because I don't know a lot about the background of the guys that ran this restaurant. They may be, third generation British people where their grandparents came to the UK, or they might have just arrived to the UK themselves. We don't know. But some things obviously got lost in translation here a little bit of what's acceptable to be sold in the UK to the public. And of course, what we just spoke about today is certainly not acceptable. And I'm glad they're in prison, because of course the fact they are in prison just shows how bad actually this whole situation was. It must have been really, really bad, because to get like 42 months in prison for selling out-of-date food, you got to think that the food is of massive, massive danger to the public. And looking at those images, you probably would say that is the case for sure. But the question is, what are your thoughts on halal restaurants in general? Do you agree with the ethics behind it? Do you think it's a good way to kill the animal? Does it make the meat taste better? Yes or no? And what are your thoughts on this story overall? This was actually in Leeds. I've got some family near there as well, and I know the population out there of Muslims is pretty high as well. Leeds, Doncaster, Sheffield, those areas, I know that they are getting overrun a little bit as well, and you see it on the high street with the restaurants that are opening around. And they're very low quality food establishments that I've seen. But yeah, I wouldn't personally touch the food that I see hanging at the shop window as I walk past these places. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Would you eat there? Yes or no? And what do you think of this story? Do you think these guys got the right punishment for the crime? Or do you think they should have been let off the hook? But yeah, I'm glad that that case has been solved, and those images really are disgusting. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Make sure you do drop a like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.